Greetings, this is Paul the Poke from paulthepoke.com. Today's topic, Burden of Damascus. Russia adds naval forces to the Mediterranean Sea, and this is October 6, 2016, and the scripture reference is Jeremiah 49, verse 23. Now concerning Damascus, Hamath and Arpad are put to shame, for they have heard bad news, they are disheartened. There is anxiety by the sea, and it cannot be calmed. And what we're looking at is a modern-day map of Syria. And just to give you some quick markers, down here in the south is Damascus. This is Syria itself. Here is Aleppo. Everything's happening around Aleppo. Here is a Russian air base on the Mediterranean in Latakia, Syria. So the first question in this prophecy, who are Hamath and Arpad? Hamath means fortress. That's what the name means. It means fortress. And in the times of Jeremiah, Hamath was a city in the valley of the Orontes River. And Hamath was considered the capital of the northern kingdom of Syria. And that's where the red marker is right here. So today, this city is known as Hama, Syria, and it has a population of roughly 854,000 per 2009 census numbers. And it's the fourth largest city in Syria, and that's per Wikipedia. Now, Arpad, and that name means I will be spread out, and this is per Ellicott's commentary. The modern-day location is approximately 14 miles north of Aleppo, Syria. So this city is effectively between Aleppo and the Turkey border. And scholars believe that this is the modern-day city of Tel Arfad in Syria. And that's per Barnes' notes as well as Ellicott's commentary. Now the Hebrew grammar says the cities are confounded, put to shame, dismayed. And so the question gets to be, well, why? Why would this attitude be the case? And so translators don't do us any favors in 49 verse 23 when they use the word bad, for they have heard bad news. I mean, it's the Hebrew word ra, and simply stated ra, it means evil, wicked, malignant, displeasing, and miserable. So whatever news is coming is going to cause people's hearts to melt up here in the northern part of Syria. And so we have modern day Hama and modern day Arpad up here in the north. And there is anxiety by the sea, it cannot be calmed. And so the sea, the reference to the sea is pretty obvious. It's the Mediterranean Sea. And, you know, the grammar and the vocabulary in the Hebrew would suggest peace, tranquility, quietness. They are nowhere to be found. And so, you know, if you're interested in these sorts of things with grammar and vocabulary, check out Strong's Concordance. So just a brief review of what's happened. August 15, 2016, Russia acquired its first permanent air base in Syria, and it is the Khmeimim Air Base located near Latakia, Syria, on the Mediterranean Sea, and just follow the cursor circling Latakia. Again, links will be provided for all this, and this is from globalresearch.ca. September 21st, 2016, Russia has deployed an aircraft carrier to the Mediterranean Sea. And the purpose of this is to join other Russian naval vessels in the eastern Mediterranean. And so this aircraft carrier is estimated to be able to carry 40 aircraft. And that's out of foxnews.com. October 5, 2016, Russia deployed 2 warships full of cruise missiles to the Mediterranean. That's from a Russian news source, RT.com. And again, the links for all these will be provided. And today, October 6, 2016, a third Russian warship has set sail from the Black Sea to the Mediterranean Sea. And this warship is also loaded with cruise missiles. And this is a quote from Russian Defense Minister Sergei Shoigu. Currently, the Russian naval group in the eastern Mediterranean includes at least 6 warships and 3 or 4 support vessels from all fleets. To increase the combat capabilities of the group, we plan to include the cruiser Admiral Kuznetsov into its ranks, and that would be the aircraft carrier the defense minister is referring to. Now, Russia states this military buildup is for operations against ISIS. And again, that's per RT.com. A link for that provided as well. Also keep in mind the United States has an operational fleet in the Mediterranean Sea itself. We've got military personnel in and around the Mediterranean in the eastern part of the Mediterranean. And this is a headline that was provided to me this evening by a friend, and this broke out of an Israeli news publication, October 6, in the evening of October 6, 2016. And the main point of this is just know that foreign news sources are printing this information. You're not going to hear any of this stuff from our local media. None of these stories are being discussed because we're in the midst of Hurricane Matthew getting ready to hit the southeast coast of the United States, and then we also got presidential politics going on. But this is stuff that's being printed around the world, and this is what they're reading in their newspapers and on their TV shows and so forth regarding news. And again, this is out of an Israeli publication, and the headline reads, U.S. military told to prepare for tactical nuclear exchange with Russia in Syria. Stateside military told to prepare for intercontinental one-for-one nuke exchange. And a link's provided for that as well if you want to read that. So things are heating up over Syria, and it has to do with the leader, President Assad. Russia wants to keep him in. The United States wants him out. Draw your own conclusions as to why that may be the case. But at any rate, things are heating up, and neither party seems to be backing down from the other. And so, back to the prophecy of Jeremiah, the damage starts up north in Syria. And, that's where all of the damage has taken place so far. And more appears to be building. Then the war moves south before the burden of Damascus and Damascus is affected. Now, if you're interested in parallel passages for the burden of Damascus, check out Isaiah 17, Amos 1, verses 3 through 5, and the complete part of this Jeremiah prophecy is Jeremiah 49, verses 23 through 27. Now, one of Damascus's greatest claims is that it is the longest inhabited city on the earth. And you can look up all 3 of these, and we know that this is prophetically the future of today, these prophecies, because Damascus is still inhabited. Scripture is pretty clear about the future of Damascus. It will be uninhabited at some point in the future. So, the question gets to be, are we watching this prophecy unfold? And that's for each individual to do their own homework. Again, if it's not, no big deal. But if it is, if we are watching this prophecy unfold, somebody is getting close to his second return to planet Earth. So if you're interested in the burden of Damascus, there are 8 related posts on paulthepope.com, and I've got a link for that provided below as well. So thanks for listening. Y'all have a good evening. Take care.